What's going on, guys? So whether you're a beginner to baseball, you're in college, or you're a professional in the MLB, the hitting tee is the most beneficial and useful hitting tool there is, and every player should have one and know how to use it correctly. And unfortunately, a lot of younger players hate hitting off the tee because they're setting it up incorrectly. So in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to set up the tee properly, and then where to position the tee, whether it's an inside pitch or an outside pitch. So let's get right into it. Now, if you guys don't have your own tee, I'm gonna link a bunch of them below, and I'm also gonna link our what tee to buy video. It's an old video, but it still holds strong. Top two tees, in my opinion, are the Tanner tee and the Jugs tee. They both go for around 150 bucks, but you can't go wrong with either. Now, the pros use the tee every single day, so if you wanna be a better hitter, you should be doing the same thing. Now, the problem with a lot of younger players is they just kind of walk up to the tee and they don't adjust it. Okay, and the most common problem is they have the tee set up right in the middle of the plate, which is not where you hit a baseball. Okay, so they come up to it and they just start swinging, and this is a very awkward, uncomfortable position for them to hit the ball. That's not where you hit a baseball. So they get real frustrated because they can't hit anything solid, so they end up hating it. So now we're gonna talk about the most basic tee setup for beginners, and then we're gonna talk inside pitches versus outside pitches. But I wanna talk about something else first. So every time you step up to the plate, whether it's in batting practice or you're hitting off a tee, you wanna set up in the same spot. Okay, you don't want to set up here and then here and then here, because we want to learn to become aware of the strike zone. Okay, strike zone awareness is very important. So if we're moving back and forward and around, then we're not going to learn what the strike zone is. We have to learn to become very aware of what's a ball and what's a strike. So if we're moving around too much, that strike zone is going to stay in the same spot and it's going to look different every time. So the most basic tee setup for a beginner is you want to line up the tee in the middle of the plate and then around in line with their front foot when they stride. Okay, that's just a perfect setup for balls back up the middle. In the middle of the plate, in line with their front foot after they stride. So now let's talk inside pitches versus outside pitches. Now, balls on the outer half of the zone, we want to let the ball get deeper in the zone and hit it back here to right center, kind of in line with our front hip, somewhere around there. Okay, and then as the ball gets a little bit more inside, we want to hit it a little bit further out front, right out in front of our front foot like that for balls on the inside. And again, middle of the plate is in line with our front foot in the middle. So when we set up the tee, we want to set it up in the same spot. Okay, outside pitches, kind of in line with this front hip to right center. And then as we go to the middle of the plate, again, middle of the plate in line with our front foot. And then balls on the inner half, want to have it out front of the plate and out front of our front foot. Like that to left center. Now, when you guys are doing tee work, don't just work on balls back at the middle. You want to focus on working on outside pitches and inside pitches, bottom of the zone, top of the zone. You want to work the whole strike zone. Now, I'm going to give you a little tip on how to not get jammed on these inside pitches, and it's something that I learned from Freddie Freeman, who learned from Chipper Jones when he's playing for the Braves. Now, when we hit these inside pitches, we want to make sure that we keep our hands inside the ball. Now, how we do that with these inside pitches is what he does is he uses this guide or this line as a guide for his hands. Okay, so rather than coming around and hitting that ball there and possibly getting jammed, he uses this line as a guide for his hands to keep his hands inside the baseball and then hit that ball there. So like I mentioned before, if you want to be a better hitter, you have to have your own tee and you have to use it on a daily basis. So I'm going to link a bunch of tees below, so make sure to go pick one up. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps to grow the channel. And if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button below, and I'll see you guys next week.